Eric Engelbert with Orange County Real Estate, and today we're going to talk about the market report for the last 7 days. Today's September 12th. Analysts have made projections about the housing inventory increasing by the end of the year, but really sellers are sitting on the sideline and deciding not to sell. So our inventory continues to shrink, and that's been a problem. And now some of those same analysts are calling it an inventory crisis. So I wonder why they're deciding to wait to sell. So we'll talk about that at the end. So let's jump right into that first slide and look at inventory here in Orange County for residential real estate. We are down to 3,735 properties for sale. And in the entire country, we are down to 547,122 single-family homes for sale. So there's a little distinction there. But to take that into perspective, in 2019, we were at 1 million single-family homes for sale at this same time. So we are way down, and you can see that could be considered a crisis. I mean, half as much about. All right, so under contracts and pendings here in Orange County is also down to 2,091. Before we switch to the next slide, I just want to say one other thing. We're still going to have 5 million properties for sale, or properties sold in the country. So people are still buying. There's still a big demand. That number is probably lower than what we all projected, but 5 million residential properties sold in 2022 is a projection, and that's still a big number. And I'm just bringing that up because people are still buying despite having rates near 6%. There's still a lot of demand, and we'll see that in Orange County here on the days on market. So let's flip to the next slide, and the Orange County days on market, the median days on market is 38. That is still a low number and a seller's market. The average days on market is 50. Those have both stabilized over the last 2 weeks, not much fluctuation, maybe a day or here, there, day or two here or there. There's a couple outliers. That would be Central Garden Grove at 21 days on market, and also Cypress Village of Irvine. That's by the 5 and the 133. That area is 10 days on market. Quite a few newer homes there. So there's a lot of demand there still, which is great. Great for sellers that there's still demand. Okay, the next slide, the first line on the next slide is the sold price versus the list price in Orange County. It's been 1.8% less than list. The closed price is 1.8% less than the list price. So that's what we were expecting. Say, 5 months ago, 4 months ago, it was 3%, 4% above list price. So definitely gone the other way because there is less demand. And when I say less demand, we're not getting 20 or 30 offers on a property, but 1 or 2 maybe. I still know that properties under $1 million are getting a lot of activity. And I took a little snapshot of Costa Mesa, so we'll see the difference in that in a couple slides. The next line is immediate sales in Orange County, 3.9%. That's about the same the last couple of weeks. And in the US, it's 13%. These are properties that sold in the first 2 days of being on the market. So things have slowed down a little bit. In the US, that number was up to almost 30% of new listings being sold in the first 2 days. Accepting an offer in the first 2 days. So that has come way down, which is a sign of demand weakening. Price reductions in Orange County at 12%. That's pretty stable. And then in the US, 40%. That's also been stable over the last couple of weeks. So nothing super interesting there. And then the 30-year fixed rate has been stable over the last 2 weeks too, 5.98%. Okay, I wanted to talk about a snapshot for Costa Mesa, and I feel like if you guys are considering selling your home, or if you're considering buying, the data for that target area is super important. So let's just take a quick look at Costa Mesa. The first slide is for houses. And you can see, just as a median list price, 1.365, the median price of new listings, 1.37. It says the average days on market, 53, median days, 49. Price decrease, so that's a big number here in Costa Mesa. 49% of the homes that are listed have had a price decrease. And 11%, that relisted line, 11% of homes have been relisted. So those are homes that went under contract or potentially even pending and then fell out of escrow and went back on the market. This could be for multiple reasons, but the number one reason is that the buyer could not establish their financing, or the loan just could not get done for whatever reason. But that's the number one reason, is financing. So now we'll see a big difference in some of those numbers when we flip to the condos. First is the median list price is $750 and the median price of new listings is $675. There's a big discrepancy between those two numbers, but it's just, having cheaper condos come up. That's the only reason there. But the average days on market, 35, and the median days on market, 28. So that is much less days because the demand is always higher for properties under $1 million. And then the price decrease, only 10% of these properties have had a price decrease because they are selling quickly. Even if they're not going under contract in the first 2 or 3 weeks, there's still a lot of activity on them. So sellers are know that because there's activity, they're probably close to getting an offer. Relisted, only 5% of these have been relisted, so that's a fair number. So anyways, you can see the difference here between these two, between houses and condos, and why there's a difference in price. So if you're considering buying a condo, if you're considering buying a house, I can get you the data for your area. It's important, whether you're buying or selling, to know the data. You can price properly and you know what to expect. So if you would like this data for your area or your target area, please reach out to us with a phone call or a text message or an email, and we will get it for you. Thank you very much and have a wonderful week.